Good afternoon, Pokésports. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin.
And we play with two Pokemon on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are commentating a game that was the very, very finals of this past league. If you had watched today's video, you'd seen me playing with the winners team. You can go and check that out in the cards above. But without further ado, look at this. We're already jumping into the game. Kevin, what can we say about this last game here?
Well, this team is, or I guess this battle is Dan Bruns versus Angel Lost for the finals. I'm very scared of Daniel's team because Daniel actually knocked me out of the tournament.
Is that right?
Fact. Yeah, he knocked me out. He was the barrier into the final stages. He didn't let me get out of groups. And on top of that, me and Angel have been Angel, Tofu have been like using this team for a very long time. This team is like a standard nut core, but it has some very specific calcs and very specific intricacies to it. Mm-hmm. But something I know with that team is that it does struggle with Metagross, and Dan is carrying that Metagross. Metagross is actually my biggest problem when facing him. Like, my team also didn't have a way to deal with Metagross. Metagross is kind of that Pokemon that if you don't have a solid way to deal with, it'll just take over a game, and you didn't expect it to.
Now, having said that, I'm curious to see if in this game, this Metagross is actually going to be incredibly relevant. I'm curious to see what the wins and losses are going to be here. So let's just jump right in. It's going to be Pierre versus Daniel, the finals of the Patron League match that we have every single month at patreon.com/Pokésports podcast. Let's get into it.
Winner gets a t-shirt and a pin.
Yeah.
Which I have to show somewhere.
Oh, yeah, me too. Got one here, too. Look at that.
I can't find it.
All right, so the leads here. Looks like Dan's going to be going with a Metagross and Tornadus lead. That's a very common lead with Dan's side. He's been going that quite often.
Yeah, it has a brutal swing along with the weakness policy proc on the Metagross.
Meanwhile, on Pierre's side, we got the double surges.
Mm-hmm.
Misty Surge into Grassy Surge. How do you feel about the double surges, though?
This is another thing that I was talking to with like very specific calcs. He had to calc his Rillaboom to be one base speed slower than his Finny for that very reason, just so they can guarantee that the Grassy Surge is up on the field.
Interesting.
If for some reason he has to lead with both of them. Now, what I'm interested to see is whether or not Angel can deal with the Metagross, because as it stands right now, both of his Pokemon do not really want to see a Metagross. Dynamaxing a Finny first turn, though. Okay.
Now that's an interesting choice.
You do not see that every day. I guess you could argue that Metagross can't really do anything to Finny, because all of its attacks are neutral.
Right. On Dan's side as well, going for the Dynamax. Looks like it's going on the Metagross, what with that Cherish Ball being the one sucking it up.
Fancy shiny Metagross.
Fancy shiny Metagross. Comes all the way from Oras, this one.
Ooh. He's traveled a long way for this competition, man.
Traveled through space and time. Looks like the Rillaboom's going to get the fake out off on the Tornadus. Doing a lot of damage for a fake out, huh?
Mm-hmm. Followed by the Max Geyser here.
Oh, so Tornadus just isn't going to get to... Wow, it survives that.
Finny is not the strongest Pokemon in the world. So you do sacrifice that by Dynamaxing, and also followed by that going for the Steel Spike onto the Finny.
Now the nice thing here is that Finny is defensive enough to take one of those. Doesn't even go down to half, so it can theoretically take another one of those attacks. However, this Tornadus I don't think is making... Well, I guess it did make a move. Oh, no, it didn't. No, it flinched. But here we go. Now, it looks like Pierre should be able to take out this Tornadus before it is able to do anything. Really comes down to what this Grassy Glide is going to do to the Tornadus.
Very smart decision making to go for the Grassy Glide there, but actually living at 1 HP, sadly. Oh, no.
Wow.
That's some very unlucky calc right there. That could be min-max damage.
Now,
going for the Brutal Swing right away.
The Brutal Swing is going to be nasty. That triggers the weakness policy off of the Metagross, giving it that +2. The Max Geyser going on the Metagross this time. Oof, Pierre had assumed that would have taken down the Tornadus. And I mean, you're in grassy terrain. That's a fair assumption. But even with the +2, that Finny lives that second attack.
And he gets one more chance here, do a lot of damage. Problem is, actually there's no problem. Actually there is a problem. Tailwind is still a thing. He never set up Tailwind.
That's
so
true.
You can set up Tailwind there, outspeed the Finny, and that'll be night Finny.
Which kind of means that Pierre is almost forced to go for another Grassy Glide on the Tornadus here.
Even then, they'll both be at +1 priority. I think the Tailwind outspeed still. Sadly. Yeah, he has, like if that were me, I would max guard and cry. That's the problem with like Metagross, man. If you don't have a dark move, you don't have a ground move or even a fire move, you're just in some serious danger.
Right, so it looks like the Tornadus does get to go first, set up that Tailwind. The Grassy Glide still does have the +1 priority though, so we're going to be able to take out the Tornadus here. However, this kind of sets up the rest of the game to be very, very difficult to take down this Metagross. Going for the Hailstorm, electing not to finish off the Finny, but instead to take out the Rillaboom, who is and has been the larger threat thus far.
Now that might not look like that's a lot more than just a KO on a Rillaboom, because he also changes the weather, which means he reduces the damage on the guys that are on top of it all, and also just like the incoming. I think he has Scald or Muddy Water. Reduces that damage output, so he actually can't get the KO on the Metagross either.
Now,
but the Urshifu.
The Urshifu is there. Now, one thing, with setting up Max Hailstorm here, is that you kind of have to believe in your Metagross at this point. You've built up its defenses enough. You're going in for as many attacks as you can. You have your +2 from the weakness policy. Reason being, with the Hailstorm up, you're not going to be able to send out any Pokemon with Focus Sash anymore. That works to your opponent's detriment, but it also works to your detriment. And so you really got to be cautious about that.
Dan bringing in the Finny here.
Misty
Finny is
Surge.
pretty safe. Protects the Metagross a lot.
Metagross, another amazing thing about this Metagross is just the clear body, not giving it the ability to have its attack stat lowered.
It really looks like Dan put a lot of thought into this Metagross in every single way that he can protect the Metagross. He has the Finny there just for the incoming dark types. He has the Misty Terrain just for any potential burns, and Clear Body, so no Intimidate. It's like Metagross is a dumb Pokemon. Jeez.
Metagross is a little Metagross, is what you're saying.
Should it be called Meta Disgusting?
All right, so the opposing Tapu Fini going for the Moonblast. That Tailwind putting in work here, making sure any kind of speed ties just aren't going to be at all relevant. Even the Metagross gets to go before the Incineroar right now. Going for the... getting the flinch.
No.
Oh, no.
To make matters worse.
To make matters worse. Because how nice would it have been if that Incineroar would be able to get a Flare Blitz off, possibly even burning that thing, or not burning that thing, taking it down with a crit.
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities.
Maybe next game. Oh, look at that. Look at those Metagross stats. Yikes. +2 defense, +2 attack.
Right. So it really depends on what... It's going to be a hard game for Pierre from here.
Remember the Tailwind is also a thing.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the Moonblast.
So here's that Moonblast. And again, with the Hail out, this Urshifu now has just this turn to live. It will be going down after this turn. Oof, the Stomping Tantrum. Now again, with two Pokemon on the field.
It all goes back to that Tailwind and the lack of speed control on Angel's side of the field. That Tailwind getting proc is what's determining the rest of this game.
Right.
It's what's preventing this Metagross from getting knocked out here.
So Tapu Fini's going to get buffeted by the Hail, and here is that Hail that we all hate so much. Urshifu is going to go down here. And that's going to be the end of Game 1 between Pierre and Daniel. Let's go ahead and move into Game 2. Meanwhile, on my side, on the caster's side, it looks like my camera had frozen during that game, and so it froze at the best point, actually.
It's just pensive mic.
Exactly. All right, so getting into Game 2, what do you think Pierre can do differently? Because you know this team very well. You know that team very well. I've been playing with Daniel's team a little bit lately, so I think I know that team a little bit. So what do you think that Pierre can do to kind of turn the tides?
In practice, I think that Pierre has a good matchup against Metagross. Just he needs to not lead with a passive lead, but it looks like he did decide to do that again. But I think if I were him, I would just assume that the Metagross is coming.
Yeah.
Go for something that can knock out go for a fake out lead and go for something that can knock out the Tornadus, because the Tornadus setting up Brutal Swing and setting up Tailwind is what won Dan that game. Believe it or not, it wasn't the Metagross, because Metagross, if it wasn't fast and if it didn't get its weakness policy procced, it was tolerable. You saw how little damage it was doing to Finny.
Right.
But the second that Tornadus procced all of those abilities and the second that the speed got boosted, that's when the battle started going downhill.
Right.
So Tornadus big threat.
Tornadus big threat, exactly. So moving on into game 2, let's see if Pierre can take a little bit more of an offensive standpoint. Of course, Daniel not going for any kind of different lead here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, again, Pierre going for the same lead with that whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe it was broke. Maybe you should have fixed it. We'll see. But maybe you could maybe he's thought of something differently that he can do this turn, this time around, that you know will turn the tides a little bit.
Let's see.
So we've got
Fake
the
out is
same
still the
lead.
play here. Yeah.
And we're still going to see the Dynamax as well on the Tapu Fini. This time going on the Tornadus as well. We're still going on the Tornadus here. Now, something that I find a little nervous right now, nerve-wracking, is that Pierre knows that the Metagross has the Hailstorm, and that did Oko, albeit at +2, his Rillaboom last time. So that should be a little worrisome on Pierre's side.
I think the big thing here is if this Tornadus doesn't go down here, we're gonna see a repeat of last game.
And maybe that's it too, right? Is the Tornadus lived around 1 HP the last time, or at least 10. So maybe he was betting on kind of a min-max situation going into game 2. So Rillaboom goes for the fake out. We know that this does a decent chunk.
Looks like it did a little bit less than last time. Might be the minerals.
Might be the minerals. Here we go. So Tornadus goes down to about a third.
The rain gets set up.
The rain gets set up.
Now all he needs is a nice grassy glide. And a grassy glide that makes it count. Grassy glide for the ages.
The grassiest glide that one has ever seen.
You need the moldiest, dirtiest, grassiest glide.
See, and this is a kind of a scary situation as well, because the Steel Spike is what helped the Tornadus live that last time. Tornadus absolutely would have gone down if it didn't have going for the Tailwind early this time around. Electing not to go for
speed control is.
That's right. Electing not to go for the Brutal Swing to trigger the weakness policy on the Metagross. Will Pierre have chosen to go into the Tornadus this time? Oh, doesn't take it out.
That's only 2 Hailstorm turns away, though.
Yep. Now this Metagross can actually almost ignore the Rillaboom. Goes for the Tornadus this time. Learns from past mistakes. Takes it down without any kind of misplays.
Avoiding the weakness policy proc is really big here. You really just want to get Metagross down until a range that Wicked Blow can knock it out.
Right.
Which is about 70 HP. If you get Metagross to about 70 HP, you should be able to knock it out with the Wicked Blow.
70%?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Nice.
70% HP. Ooh, okay. The Lucky coming this time.
Oh, all right,
different.
All right. Now, I like this for Pierre, because now he gets another turn on that Rillaboom. Looks like he is going to be swapping out, though. Smart. You're saving the Rillaboom for later. I do understand that. Now,
it's a potential fake out later, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Is he going to go for the max guard? It looks like going to be taking out the Rillaboom here, switching out into the Incineroar. Now, again, because of the clear body on the Metagross, we are not going to be seeing an Intimidate today. We're going to be getting that on the Regieleki, but it doesn't really matter because that's the special attacker anyway.
Thunder Punch Regieleki.
Thunder Punch when? Thunder Punch now.
That moment when Regieleki has the exact same attack stat as special attack stat.
Yeah, right?
Guys, don't do that.
It's a secret Regieleki move. Secret Regieleki spread. So again, going for the Steel Spike on the would-be Rillaboom is instead Incineroar, upping that defense. And again, there are just so many physical mons on this team that Steel Spike is going to matter up until the Regieleki.
It takes that kind of foresight to see that too.
Yeah.
It takes that foresight to see that, hey, I need the Steel Spike instead of Quake here.
Yeah.
Because this Finny's not doing damage to me. I got to worry about this Incin and this Rilla.
Absolutely. The nice thing that this Incineroar comes out because it does get the access to the Fake Out on the Regieleki. Going to make sure that Finny stays alive another day.
Now, this Finny is actually just very important right now because this Regieleki is also receiving these defense boosts.
Yes.
So the Finny going for special attacks is really, really big here.
Now, however, the Regieleki did set up the light screen a turn before. So that's going to be... oof. That would have been a KO'd Regieleki had it not been for the light screen there. A little unfortunate.
That thing's just bouncing around.
Honestly, yeah. It's hypnotizing, isn't it? Bounce with me.
Me or Regieleki?
We got it.
This is commentating.
Professional commentary. We got that here.
It's our channel. We do what we want.
Exactly. We get to define what commentating is. All right, so the Tapu Fini looks like it's going to be going for the Protect here. Smart play. Again, try to keep it alive one more turn. Buy some extra turns of the light screen. Buy some turns that an Urshifu isn't out phasing off against a Regieleki.
Probably also want to suck off the Incin to get the free switch too.
Yeah. Another nice point here is we're able to switch into the Rillaboom, go for the Fake Out on the Regieleki, and get another Muddy Water out. We'll see if that's actually what ends up happening, but in my opinion... Oh, we bought out the Tailwind. That is beautiful. That is huge.
I think Rillaboom has to come here.
Yeah. Oh.
No!
We're going for Urshifu. All right. Well, now that Tailwind petered, I can kind of see the idea here. We do have the Focus Sash on the Urshifu, and Urshifu will outspeed Metagross. So,
not
maybe.
The Finny, though. The Finny's gonna die.
Yeah, that Finny's most likely
Finny.
going down here. That's quite unfortunate. So we're actually withdrawing Metagross here. Daniel, not
all
bad.
Those nice stats.
Ooh, but
swapping in the Finny.
Those nice stats are swapping in for something that is going to take severely less damage.
It all comes back to how well Dan's team protects that Metagross. He can just do that, and it doesn't matter. Oh. Everything resists everything. Switching to Electro Web also.
That's a very, very wise move here.
So much speed control on Dan's side of the field.
Yeah. So punching that Tapu Fini, not doing all that much damage, even with the critical hit. The Moonblast here ought to be fun to watch. Not fun enough.
Light screen putting in some serious work.
Absolutely. Now, what with the rain? That may have been a misplay? What do you think about that? Does Muddy Water in the rain, would you say that would do close to the same amount as Moonblast?
It gets the 50% boost and then the 25% decrease. So it only gets like a 25% increase plus stab.
It's closer,
10 base
but
power
Moonblast
lower.
is still higher. Yeah. Oh, 10 base power lower though.
Yeah, it's 10 base power lower. I think. I don't know.
Whatever.
They probably don't do similar amount of damage. I'm pretty sure they both missed the KO regardless.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So now with that speed control, the Finny is going to be able to outspeed both the Urshifu and the opposing Finny. So we're about to see a potential Moonblast on this Urshifu.
If it's Dazzling Gleam, it's GG. Never mind.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Finny's hungry.
Finny's hungry. Using that Wikipedia berry to bring itself back up above 50%. Urshifu's going down though.
Bye Urshifu.
Bye Urshifu.
That's really bad for Angel. Because that Urshifu was the only way to break through that Metagross there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can maybe do something with fake outs and maybe do something with Robums.
I mean, it is possible. Your speed control just went down. Your Metagross is really the only thing left. Saving this Metagross is such a key point to this game here. As you mentioned right up at the top, Metagross is such a massive threat for this team. You don't want to keep it out. You don't want it going down when you don't need to have when it doesn't need to be going down.
I know I hated it.
Right.
I respected Metagross a lot more after this this battle that I had with Dan for sure. Metagross is scary.
Metagross is scary.
And it's a Pokemon we've been talking about for literal months, like well before like, you know, Series 6
yeah, for real.
When was it introduced?
We put out a video about that when it was first, you know, announced as coming back. And we were like, okay, watch out for this guy.
Yeah, this guy is scary.
Yeah. It's majorly okay, well, hold on. Tapu Finney's going for the Moonblast. Rillaboom's going to protect that. Metagross going for the Ice Punch. Rillaboom's going to protect that.
Ooh, solid protect. Muddy Water accuracy drops. Where are you, sir?
Hello, let's see it.
Damage is not there.
Metagross and Finny.
No
not
happening.
Drops. Oof.
Last ditch effort. It needed to happen.
It needed to happen. It didn't happen. But let's see how this plays out anyway. A little curious what's going to happen here.
Pierre has to make a very hard decision. Does he predict the Finny Protect or not? Looks like he's just going for it.
The safe play would definitely be for the Finny Protect. Oh, there it is. Oh, no. Kevin predicting the future here.
It's a very hard decision there because it is just a 50-50 coin toss.
Yeah.
And regardless of what Pierre does there, I still think that he made the best play.
Yeah.
Because if he would have gone for the high horsepower onto the Metagross, he would have just procced the weakness policy on Metagross, so it wouldn't have actually accomplished anything.
Right. You could actively see Pierre doing those checks and balances, seeing like, do I want to attack this Metagross with a super effective move? Do I want to trigger the weakness policy? Is now the time? Never is the time against this Metagross with this kind of a team. You don't want to be doing that.
I guess this brings up the notion: is weakness policy a broken item? Is it too good? Probably. +2 is too much, I think, in my opinion. At least in a Dynamax meta, +2 is too much.
Fair enough. Yeah, this is definitely a topic for another day. Maybe we'll talk about that on the podcast at some point. But hey, that was quite the battle between Pierre and Dan Bruns. Congratulations to Dan Bruns for winning the Pokésports Patron League. He, of course, has received a shirt and a pin, and Angel Lost has received a pin. Congratulations to the two of you. Guys, you can go ahead and join the Patron League yourself over at patreon.com/Pokésports Podcast. Yeah, you know what, Kevin, do you have any final words here?
Join it so I could beat you.
Oh.
Later. I'm winning this time.
We'll see you guys then. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.